Good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us for daily mortgage rates with the mortgage calculator app. Asset utilization, very interesting income segment because it actually allows you to use assets, liquid assets, to qualify as income, most importantly, without having to pledge those assets or encumber them in any way. That is the most interesting component because there are asset type programs like at some of the big brokerages where you can pledge some of your assets like stocks, bonds, and to obtain loans. But in this scenario, you're not pledging any assets. You are just providing statements to document the balance of those assets and then using a percentage of those assets as income. Now, there are a number of different formulas because this is a non-QM program, and like all non-QM programs, all guidelines are specific to the investor that is buying the loans, and they're all different. Some use 84 months, some use 240 months, some give you 70% of an asset, some give you 100%, some say you have to have it 4 months seasoned, others 3 months. So they're all over the place. So what you just got to note is whichever is the option that's being selected, review those guidelines clearly to determine the income for your borrower. But the most important part of this is that the assets do not have to be pledged, and it's just going to use a percentage of them. They do have to be liquid assets, though. So we're talking checking, savings, money market, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, even 401k and IRAs. But we're not talking about, for example, paid off cars, other properties, valuable artwork, nothing like that are the type of assets that we're talking about. We're talking about purely liquid financial assets. So let's get into the options we have today, so we can break it down for you and excite you with these rates. Now, 90% is our maximum LTV for this option as a primary purchase. And as always, never any mortgage insurance applicable on any non-QM loans, even over 80% LTV. The higher interest rate at the higher LTVs is basically what takes the additional risk into consideration. So we're looking at 8.5% as our lowest cost option here at a cost of 7.75 points. And you can buy that down all the way to 7.625% rate at a cost of 2.5 points for our 90% LTV asset utilization primary purchase. Our investment purchase, only 5% lower LTV for an investment property. And you'll notice the rate's actually a little bit better than the primary. Reason being, A, we're at 85% LTV instead of 90, but also on the investment properties, we are able to add a prepayment penalty, and most investors will prefer the prepayment penalty to get the lower rates. So we're looking at 8.125 here at the same 3/4 of a point cost, and you can buy that down all the way to 7% at a cost of 3.25 points for 85% LTV investment property purchase using asset utilization. And now for our lower credit score borrowers, 600, that's a very low score, is our lowest score option. And great news that we can still attain 80% LTV. In this case, I'm sharing the investment purchase option with you, even though obviously this is also available as a primary purchase at the same 80% LTV. So with a 600 credit score, our lowest cost option at par is 10.999, and our lowest rate option 9.375 at a cost of 3.375 points. Now, our asset utilization cash out options, I do have 3 options for you here today, the same options I shared for you for purchase as refi. So here we have our primary cash out. 80% is the maximum LTV for any cash out. And we have 8% as our lowest cost option at par. And you can buy that down all the way to 6.875 at a cost of 2.375 points Our asset utilization investment cash out option, still 80. And we're looking at 7.874 as our lowest cost option at par. And you can buy that down all the way to 6.874 at a cost of 3 points. And our last option here is, again, for our 600 credit score borrower. That is our lowest credit score for this option. 75% LTV at the 600 credit score, which is still amazing. Same is available for primary. I'm just sharing the investment option with you here. So for 75% LTV investment cash out, you're looking at 11.25 as our lowest cost option at par. And you can buy that down all the way to 9.625 at a cost of 3.375. So great asset utilization options here. This is a segment that is probably underutilized. Many people may not be aware that you can use liquid assets to qualify, but I can definitely tell you I've had a few this month alone come through the disclosure desk. Great rates in the low sevens, so take advantage of the asset utilization options.